Thanks for joining today. We're so excited to have Kelly Ray Fleek here with us from Seattle, Washington, or outside of Seattle, rural. Are you in? Not, I
Well,
want to
right
say
now, since the
Marysville.
pandemic, no, I'm actually up in Skagit Valley. So I live in the
Oh,
foothills of the
nice.
Cascades. So yeah.
Lovely. So nice. And Ray and I go way back. I feel like it's been years now since we've known each other and have had such fun times working together surrounding music and my own band. And Ray works with many other bands and musicians and indie artists in the area and around, and also has their own awesome band that's so fun to watch perform. So you should definitely go check them out, called the Spider Ferns. And Ray has extensive history working with PR campaigns and artist branding. So we're really excited to talk to you today about how artists can better learn to kind of formulate their own branding and their aesthetic in an authentic way, and not be kind of sucked into the part of the music industry that's not so fun and doesn't feel good. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give a little background on Pandion really quick, just for people who aren't familiar with us, since we're pretty new still as an organization. We just got our official 501(c)(3) just a couple weeks ago, which is really exciting, and started doing these workshops once a week with different mentors featured every week. We started that back in September now, and we've just been having such a great time chatting with people from all different areas of the industry and being able to help break down those barriers between industry professionals and emerging musicians, where sometimes that information can be kept very secretive, and we're trying to get rid of the gatekeepers in the industry, and hopefully kind of change that for artists who are looking for information and access to it, especially those who don't have the means, since all of our workshops and resources are free. Yeah, so we are going to start today talking about PR and artist branding, and um, Ray has done a lot of consulting with recently. Also, I think you said you're becoming more of a consultant, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
very much. Very much.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a world of knowledge in the music business, and also is a visual artist, and highly recommend going to check out her visual art as well, which is
Put
so
behind us right
amazing.
now.
And an amazing baker. I'm always like wanting your recipes every time I see you post about
Oh,
about your
sure.
cakes and
Sure.
cupcakes.
Baking
So
is
I love
actually my only superpower. The rest of it is the rest of it is
That's
stellar.
the best
Uh,
superpower to have. Um, Yeah, so Ray's work has been featured with Vogue Knitting Live, BuzzFeed, Lucio Festival, Collabora Magazine in New York, Stacked Magazine, Seattle Times, Three Imaginary Girls, Respect My Region, Whatcom Art Museum, Paste Magazine, and more. And Low Flux Media PR is that still the name of your
yes,
PR?
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. Yeah, so we can kind of get started just chatting a bit, and there'll be a little Q&A for people at the end if we have questions.
Well,
Um, yeah, so
well, that's great.
Ray,
My style is just to babble, and we'll just figure it
that's
out from there.
perfect. That's exactly what we want.
More consultation style. So hello to everyone. Thank you for having me. The world knows me as Kelly Fleek because that's my artist avatar, or my vanilla name, as I like to say. But those who love me know me call me Ray. So please call me Ray. So yeah, I run Low Flux Media PR in Seattle, and the truth of it all is that I became a publicist quite by accident. So can you, and that's what you're all here for, is trying to figure out, what do you do next now that you have all of this inspiration to make music? Maybe you've already made some of it. Maybe you're a band, maybe you're a solo person, maybe you've never played a show before, and you just really need to know, what to do from the ground up. And I'll be glancing down a lot because I have a lot of fancy notes I took when I talked to Jordan the other day to find out kind of what folks are really looking for to come to these moments. And so as Jordan was saying, during the pandemic, I stepped sideways from running more classic PR campaigns into consultation work because I saw such a tremendous shift within the industry. And I saw folks just really not getting their money's worth out of their PR, and not getting a lot of help with marketing and branding. So I shifted to how can I help people build more scaffolding? And this is a word, Jordan, you probably heard far too much. It's probably good that you're down under and I'm here. You might throw something at me. Scaffolding is my favorite word. How do you build your brand, build your scaffolding, keep it sustainable? Because being a musician is a lot of work already. And you'll note, like we say frequently, music industry. And during the pandemic, I had a real sort of come to Jesus moment with myself where I was like, wait, I always say music industry, art world. Why am I saying that? And it's because in music, it's such a grind, so much different than my visual art world. I feel like it grinds me up. It just chews me up. So how can I transform my music industry into a music world, a lot more sustainable for myself? Because it is tremendously hard to be a visual artist, musician, and publicist, helping others, and then really not paying attention how to help myself. And as a result of looking deeper into those things, I came to a lot of things I'm going to share with you today. So branding is the number one thing folks want to focus on. I'm going to tell you all, focus on your music first and focus on who you are and what you want, because that is ultimately what is going to influence your branding. Ultimately, I also think anyone saying nasty PR words should say them in really terrible British accents. So it will help you feel better when you have to say things like on brand. All right. So one of the first things I tell new musicians, clients, established bands, really truly the most basic thing in the world is go to GoDaddy and Google your band name. Do a media audit of yourself. See if you are the only person in the world with that band name, like the Spider Ferns are, where it's a plant, but we somehow got it for a band name and we got the .com. It's a really common issue that folks love to use a name. In the case of the Rays, it comes, there's, well, maybe I won't go into that too much. You should tell your own story. Sometimes people choose a family name. Sometimes people choose, like me, a favorite plant. Sometimes they choose a favorite activity. You never know. So just know that it's really hard to find an authentic name for yourself. And so you have to do that work. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and then go to make your website and find out you can't even own your own URL. So and keep it with the .com as much as possible. So far, the .nets and .infos of the world aren't really working out for us. After you have really settled into your music, settled into what you want, listen to your music, like your music. Check out your own vibe around your house. What are your other band members like? What is your aesthetic going to be? For the Spider Ferns, we look like overgrown fruit bats. We step onto stage, we make vampire rock. We step onto the stage and we've got lights, we've got dancers. Everything is dark and broody. We wear black clothing. And it's because that is what works for what we're bringing forth to individuals. I think folks are often shocked that we actually smile when we get off stage because we can bring a lot of intensity. And so be okay with what that is, like really settle into it, really make some deep decisions. If you are a solo musician, maybe most of your band shots are inside of your living room in your house. Maybe your music, maybe you want to give a more industrial urban vibe. Really be thinking about that with how you're dressing, how you're presenting yourself to the world, what your photography looks like. Find a thread and be okay with changing that too. You could go a year or two down the road and be like, okay, we're making this new music. We don't feel like this anymore. So start with something. Allow yourself to evolve. It's really my best advice. Though I'm still wearing black dresses on stage. So maybe I haven't changed too much. And please stop me anytime because I'm just going to go down a list of good stuff here. Once you don't really have to develop aesthetic first. It can kind of happen along the way, but if you have the opportunity to sit with it and sit with your thoughts and have some good chat sessions with your band and make some decisions based on consensus, as to how you're going to move forward, and then begin building your website. And don't break your neurons on a website. Nobody really cares about them, in my opinion, in the past, probably 5 or 6 years, as people once did, doubly so since pandemic lockdowns. Use it more as a calling card, a placeholder, a business card online that drives traffic to where you really want your fans. And so that's where I would say developing your social media presence is paramount. And I would say at this point, Instagram is probably far better than a website. A link tree, and I'm going to share some examples here in a minute, which actually I can do now. Is that okay with you, Jordan?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, so, and I am really good at talking fast, so
No, that's great.
everybody will
Perfect.
have to check me at the door. I'm used to throwing an hour together for folks and making sure that they get all of their money's worth in that period of time.
That's great.
So I just said that link tree. So a link tree is really, I'm going to just copy paste here so you see my eyes bouncing around a bit as I drop these into the chat. So these are bands that I have worked with over the years, and I like how they're presenting themselves. So there's one for the band Your Young Body. And all of these are going to be ever so slightly different in how folks have set them up. So a link tree, to describe, is really just exactly what it sounds. It's a little page that has little buttons that you can load songs. I'm going to put my own band in there too, because why not? Then you can see how terrible I am at updating mine. We should always have an example. Who's behind the time? In my defense, I help others do this. And for, like I said earlier, frequently forget it for myself. So there's a few Linktree examples. Take time to go through them. They're all obviously from the same platform. The bands are all pretty different. A few of us are darker, I suppose. Breaks and Swells is bringing some serious pop. And please listen to all these bands because they're super fun. Anyway, what you will find within these Linktree examples, oh, and I see something similar pop up. Oh, I like that. I'll check into that. So a Linktree, in my opinion, is the best driver of fans to all of your information. It's better than a website because, like I said, nobody's hanging out on a website interacting. A website is going to be this static placeholder for you. It's just a digital business card. On Instagram, you're really taking that time to communicate with your fans, bringing them into your world more. They want to see how you're living and what you're doing. So put that link tree up in your bio. I always recommend keeping your Spotify, your Bandcamp front and center to drive your streams. And then you can have your shows listed, your merch, other fun things that you're up to. Breaks and Swells has a beautiful one on there for paying rent back to the Duwamish tribe in Seattle for those of us who live on occupied land. And so that's a really, so you can really put your heart into these moments, which drives the authenticity of what you're doing, which it gives example of who you are as a person or as people beyond your music. So talk to your fans this way. It's a great way. It's a great way to increase your own footprint, build your own scaffolding, and keep your fans engaged. Let's see here. Let's close some of those tabs for you.
Yeah, and I think that those link trees seem to be really nice for just like having it all really concise too, because I feel
Yeah.
like that's another thing. It's like a lot of times the information is all scattered all over the place, and it's like nice to have one place to go that has everything
And it's really
for people.
simple. It's really simple to
Yeah.
keep that uploaded. If you keep your link tree uploaded first and foremost, it's so nice because you can just be drag and drop in there. You can be on tour, you can be at a venue, you can be
Yeah.
sitting, waiting for your Starbucks. I don't know. You can be putting whatever you want in there. And it's a really nice way. I'm going to jump into the sustainability of taking care of your socials with that. But it's a really nice way to keep it simple for your fans. You should just do everything for them as simply as possible. They'll love you for it. So will festivals, so will booking agents. You can even have a link to your website down at the bottom. Like just keep everything going full circle this way. And so, on that note, talking about Instagram, I'm a huge fan of Instagram in terms of how it brings engagement. I mean, Facebook has, you're still going to have to post to Facebook, sorry, but not as much. Instagram is really, I would say, where I find most of my events these days, locally, regionally, and beyond. Posting to your socials to engage with your fans. You needn't be thinking about branding all the time. It's important to not conflate every action that you have with something commodified. You don't have to commodify your reality. Just be yourself, make it available, be happy, and try not to worry so much, because ultimately your personality is going to brand you as much as your music. So like I said before, keep it in step, keep it simple, and yeah, don't worry too much about it. I think that's the thing that I've learned over time is it's easy to kill ourselves as artists and musicians by thinking we have to engage constantly. I don't have huge numbers on my Instagram as a band. I kind of don't care about that. I still play all the festivals and I still do all the tours and I still do all the things that I do. So I would say, case in point, the numbers are nice, grow them, but don't kill yourself over it. On that note, when you're posting to, I just pushed Linktree really hard. Yes, yes, yes. Push Instagram super hard. The nice thing is you can have a toggle switch on. You can be posting directly to your other socials. You don't have to do the thing anymore of like having 4 posts in a day. That takes an hour out of your life to do. So keep some good photos on hand, on your computer, on your phone, in different files. Kind of just be thinking ahead of yourself that way, and that will keep your posting sustainable. I am currently, by the way, getting messages to send links to people. So hopefully
Oh,
I'm
nice.
thinking
That's
I'm
great.
getting messages on my phone as we talk. So to your socials, in terms of branding, in terms, I would say make sure that you are, well, that's not so much branding, is just activity on your socials. I would say, make sure that you're posting at least a couple of times a week. And if you really want to make a big splash right now, realistically, I would say Reels is the #1 way folks are connecting, but you might be surprised with what Reels your fans connect with. I have clients who are like, okay, I don't get it. I just dropped an amazing new album. I have 100,000 spins on a song. True story. I was asked this question. Why is it that I get 1,500 views and reactions on a reel where my band and I are eating a donut, but I only got 200 interactions when I posted my new song? So that's something that no one can answer, except your fans might want something different from you than what you think that they want. So when you're doing your reels, experiment with everything from being out and having a beer with your bandmates, being on the road on tour, in your studio, recording a little bit. Maybe you've picked up a guitar to give, play an acoustic song for a few minutes. Anything that you find that is just you. They still might shock you. Again, they might want your donuts. So play your music in the background while you're eating a donut, just to make sure that someone can Shazam that. How's that? And I do actually have a client that just went viral on TikTok, and I think she was eating a piece of pizza. So there you go. Just keep trying. So I don't want to focus entirely on branding and on marketing in the sense of just those classic, how do we present ourselves? I think one of the things that folks really need is knowing how to reach out to people also when you are getting ready to book a show, when you are interested in working with other bands or other venues. That is the place where you want to make sure that you have your socials ready, you have your website, you have your link tree, but you don't necessarily have to have ever played a show. Just kind of get all of your ducks in a row. Because when you start reaching out to venues, they're going to want to know what they can look at. If you have 26, 46, 100,046 people following you, it doesn't matter as much to the venue as really how you're presenting yourselves or yourself. So running your own PR can kind of be a pain. It's hard to know what to do first. And so I would say ultimately keeping all of your outreach simple, to the point, simple call to action in your outreach emails. Dropping your link tree in is a great way to say to a venue, here's all of our new music. You can find it all here. Drop a Spotify link, and then just really always speak in power, always be asking for what you want. If you have any questions, go ahead and pop in.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to come on. Also, if you'd rather ask it vocally instead of messaging.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Either way works for me.
Cool.
Um, so let's see here.
I actually have a question
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just
about,
looking at my notes.
yeah, just about like, I guess, I think some, just like finding a place to start.
Yes.
And I guess Instagram maybe is a good place for that. But if you're, I guess something that I've had trouble with personally also is like, who is our audience? Which I think we
Yes.
probably talked about when we worked with you.
Yeah.
But that I was just wondering what kind of advice you could give about like actually finding who those people are that you want to be reaching and honing in on that enough, but not too much, and like
Yep.
finding that balance. Yeah.
Exactly. And that is a really hard thing to know. And also, who your audiences can grow and change massively. So that's where I would say, yes, start with your Instagram, start with your socials. And there are all of these amazing sort of managerial tools now that Instagram and Facebook and Twitter provide, where you can have an artist account and you have all of this opportunity to go in and view your insights and really see how people are engaging. Remember not to place too much importance on it. Just because today wasn't engaging, you don't know if 10 of the most important people you've ever met in your life are the only 10 people who paid attention to that. And then the next time you get 1,500, maybe nobody came to your show. So it's basically, you can't be omniscient and omnipotent. You can just move forward and try to. So if you're speaking from your heart and you are seated within your authenticity and you are embodied in what you are doing, you're going to have a very diverse group of folks anyway, but there are some tools you can use to talk to people beyond the socials. And I have some examples of that for you. So back to getting your, just the whole concept of how you're building to get your music out there. On the way there, you have some other opportunities, and those come in the form of Bandcamp and Spotify. So as you're building your brand, and I'm going to get to these other examples along with it here too, Jordan, I want it to your point, but I want to sort of pad this, pad the little rainbow cloud with some goodies here, is that before you're releasing music, you want to give some time to that. It takes people time to hear you. And that includes Spotify editors, that includes Bandcamp editors, playlisters. So when you're ready to drop a song, drop an album, drop an EP, you want to give yourself 4 to 8 weeks minimum to get that stuff in the hands, to get it submitted, get your dates chosen with Spotify and Bandcamp. That is going to give the editorial staff time to look at you and see, what does this music sound like? How do they feel about you? So I'm going to drop into something people frequently don't see when they're doing a Spotify artist page. So let's see here. So I'm dropping in a link to how to get your music to playlist editors. This stuff is readily available, but I would say these are the 2 things I'm sending you are 2 of the most commonly missed opportunities for anyone that I communicate with. So here is the Bandcamp guide.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna copy that.
And this gives you, so I have seen brand new bands who have never played a show, have editorial staff look at their music, and they've been an album of the day. So that's really about being proactive, choosing as much of your branding as you can, getting your information out there, getting your social set up, sending your music off, and getting people to start talking about it. And this is very much how you can also garner new fans, because playlisting and editorial reviews are wonderful ways for people to get a chance to see you. The The next examples I'm going to give you are when you are wanting to communicate all around the world with your fans. This link I'm dropping in is called Bands in Town. The one after it I'm dropping is called Songkick. Some people are going to tell you one is better than the other. I'm going to tell you to use them both. And because that's really how that should happen. It rarely is there one button we can use for everything. Someone's always creating something new. So Bands in Town gives you an opportunity to develop fans really organically. It's an app. You go in there, you drop in your classic information, just like you would. You can drop in a link tree. You can put your website, all of these things. So there's a whole artist panel in there. And that is a concert calendar that you can use when you tour, and it's brilliant. My band has somewhere around 800 followers. We've actually never tried to get followers. We just knew folks had the app. And when we're going to different towns, we can do a pin drop, and it just sends information to folks in Austin, Texas, Los Angeles, San Francisco, that the Spider Ferns are in town. And I would say we bring an average of a dozen people to a show with it. There are some marketing tools in there now, both, and so Songkick is the same, but it's the widget that Spotify uses. So you want that one on your Spotify, but you want your Bands in Town for other folks. All ages of folks are using these, every demographic you can imagine. Very, very simple application for your phone. Just do it. And in Bands in Town, you have an opportunity to send a free message to your fans. Don't fall victim to paying for that stuff. It's ridiculous. You can just go in, send a message, put your new poster for your show in there, put links to your show. You'll see, it's fun. It's going to be a pain in the ass like everything else. It's one more thing that you're going to sit down and you're going to say, gee, thanks, Ray. But you're going to love me for it when you start seeing people come through the door. And so
I can vouch for that too, that my own band has had success with using those. They're actually quite helpful. Yeah.
yes, it's really fantastic. And then at the merch booth, it's not uncommon when I meet someone new for me to say, how did you find out about this show? And I actually have a little notebook I keep behind the merch booth, and I have like a, Bands in Town, or, Do 206, whatever other website I'm using. And I take that into account. You don't have to do that. You can just go look at your algorithms. I'm just a little too nerdy. So back to like trying to understand your fans. I mean, I think ultimately that begins with your genre. So you can be pinpointing local radio publications that support you. And that another thing you can do is go to Spotify and look at your own Spotify radio and see what songs come up, see what recommended artists pop up for you. And that can kind of also tell you a little bit about how you should market. I find it to be a really helpful tool. And sometimes song by song, my band can change marketedly. We can be very eclectic. So that really kind of gives me an idea of how I should be alerting folks as to what comes next. Ultimately, I feel it takes a few years to know really who you're playing to. And again, as you elevate, that can also change dramatically. I really thought the Spider Ferns were a band that's a middle-aged folks who like dark electronica were listened to. And then I found out people from the ages of 21 to 34 was our biggest group of listeners. And then finding out that that was also largely male. Well, I have great legs on stage. There you go. So find your lane and see who follows you next. Seriously, it's my best asset aside from cakes. I shouldn't say that. It's not true. I do a lot of fun things. Okay. So another thing for getting you ready, getting your branding, your marketing, just kind of everything set up. And I just said all of these things and then I lost them. No, I didn't. No, I did. I can.
It's there somewhere.
All right. I made a file. There's a file that says Pandion on my laptop, I promise. So something I encourage folks to do, and you will read over and over again ad nauseum online, is how to present that marketing. Again, as I'm saying, when you're doing your outreach and you want to keep it simple, you don't want to give somebody a novella about your entire life when you're reaching out to a venue, always assume publications and venues and radio shows are getting hundreds of emails a day. So how does yours stand out? And that's really just about your subject line, keeping it simple and to the point, the Rays releasing, new single, boom, just like simple. But along with that, you need to give people information that is beyond or in step with your social media. And that's where things like one sheets and EPKs come in really, really handy. And it's another opportunity to express your branding. So I'm going to drop a few examples from some of my clients in here that I'm going to say that I really love. I love all my clients. Let's see here. I think this will share. So this is going to come to you as a PDF. I'm not sure how you'll want to share these.
I can share this on our Facebook group
Okay,
afterwards, so
perfect.
that'll be perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I do have permission from these fancy artists.
Great.
So Taylor Elizabeth, that you all will see pop up, she just dropped a hot new album. Please, please, please check that out. She is on fire. And this is her older EPK before it was updated. And you'll all get a chance to see, as it's loading, of course, coming to you, bouncing off satellites. It's going to take a moment. But Taylor really, really shows you who she is in one PDF. The color of her this, it's purple, it's pink, it's got this gorgeous font. She's detailed very clearly who she's played with, what her discography is. So she starts with her name, a beautiful photo of herself, what her genre is, a blurb about her music that was written for her, and notable acts that she's supported, links to her social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is just right there. You're just kind of repeating yourself to the world ad nauseum. You're just new and different ways to show who you are. Forest Ray, another band that the Rays would sound lovely with the next time you play Seattle, Jordan.
Yeah, always good to know.
Seriously, I took this band because of you and your
Oh,
sister. I took this
cool.
band under my wing because when I listened to them, it made me miss you, actually.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
yeah, super fun band. So that will, it's a little bit bigger one. And Forest Ray, they're psych rock, but they have this beautiful country edge. And so they do a really great job. I love how they show their discography. They put all of their album art in there. Some of these will have click-through links. Some will be static. Both static and click-through links work so long as you provide that holy link tree to everyone. And the last one that I'll send you will be from another psych rock band called Floored Faces, and they have quite an international footprint, and they are kind of classic sort of grunge vibe, grunge Seattle DIY folks. But again, they've put a lot of fancy schmancy into this. And the last one I'm going to send you is a boring, pedantic old thing that I make for my clients that we send off to radio. So the very last one from Dirty Dirty is a radio style one sheet. So it's going to look a lot like the, right? Beautiful Taylor Elizabeth. I just saw that comment pop up. She really is. So the Dirty Dirty one sheet, this is what we sent to college radio. Again, we have solid branding on point, solid marketing for them. You have the little blurbies about their music. It's a little bit shorter than what you'll see on Taylor Elizabeth's or on Forest Ray or on Floored Faces. This is more, what do you want a DJ at KEXP to say about you instantaneously? And that's a local Seattle.org for us that that's like when you're in Seattle, that's who you want to play your music. So how do you talk to them? And the one sheet for radio you can tell how old school it looks. It's really still just, basic marketing of a nice band photo someone can use. So these can be, and the album art, and that can be taken by the radio station, dropped right into whatever blog that they have going on, if they're showing what song comes next kind of thing. And
Right,
you'll
sorry, Ray, to interrupt. Did
go
you
ahead.
drop the other ones in there? Because I'm only seeing
I
the first one that you dropped in.
It looks like Floored Faces and Dirty Dirty are still loading.
Oh, okay,
So I
gotcha.
guess
No, no
in
worries.
my defense, I live in a barn at the base of a mountain. We're probably waiting.
Can-
We're waiting for my silly old Wi-Fi to do the job here.
No
I
worries, no
definitely
worries.
don't have the city stuff. That's been quite a challenge, let me tell you.
No worries, we'll
So,
get them.
okay,
We'll
I'm
get
gonna
them
just
shared at the end too, so that'll be
right.
fine.
Well, and
Yeah,
I think the Dirty Dirty one sheet is only like 3 MB. It's actually almost loaded. So I'll go ahead and keep talking
nice.
about that because it's
Great.
more important. I just wanted to show 3 different bands, 3 different styles of music in those static EPKs. And let's say while Dirty Dirty's loading, another thing you can do with that dusty old website idea is you can have a hidden page on on uh on your website that just hosts your EPK. And so it doesn't have to pop up everywhere. And that's really nice because then you have a truly electronic press kit. And so while we're waiting for these old school things to load, I will go in and I will bring you my band's EPK. Again, not very updated, but don't worry, that'll get an update
And
pretty
what's
soon
the
here.
benefit of having an EPK? I was actually just talking about this the other day versus just a one sheet. Like, do people actually still want to see the full EPK rather than just the one sheet?
I think it's nice to have both because you're talking to lots of different people. So it's good to have a diverse toolkit because you don't know if it's a house show, a backyard festival, if you're applying to Tree Fort or whatever millions of festivals are around the world at this point. Everyone's going to have different asks. So if you've got your link, so you've settled on your branding, you've built your website, you've got your socials up, you've got your link tree going, you've taken time for your bands in town, your song kick, you've submitted to Spotify, you've submitted to Bandcamp. Your toolkit right now is vast, right? So the Dirty Dirty one sheet and Floored Faces and Dirty Dirty are still competing. It's a race here on my computer. I'm watching it all. So the difference between an EPK and a one sheet, you know, there's different
Yeah.
styles of them, really. I think the words can be interchangeable depending upon how you're using them.
Mm.
So the one that I'm going to put in here right now is the Spider Ferns EPK, and this is a true electronic one. So that's coming through from my Low Flux Media site. I actually still host yours there, Jordan. I think that we need to update that. That's a dusty old thing. That's dustier than mine. And I think the nice thing that you'll see with the Spider Ferns EPK is you click through, you get there, there's album art. You can click on a photo and it takes you directly to the music. You can click on a highlighted blurb, like who wrote the blurb for my band, for the last album, and it clicks you through to the article. And then I provided all of the links to my socials. I don't have a link tree on there because I haven't touched this since the pandemic. Okay, so let's see. It looks like Taylor's. I don't know what's popping up for you. What are you seeing so far,
Dirty
Jordan?
Dirty. I see that one now.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the Dirty Dirty one. I think the importance there, just in terms of what is the difference between these. Wow, that's really funny. I can't even pop it up to look at it on my side, and I don't understand that. Oh, there we go. It's because apparently I need more coffee. All right. So on the right-hand side of the radio one sheet, so I guess when you're sharing it to the Facebook group, we'll call Dirty Dirty a radio one sheet, I think is more appropriate. And this, again, goes a long way into all of it is demonstrating vibe. It's demonstrating your aesthetic. It's demonstrating what your band is doing and has done. But you'll notice that there's a distinct lack of what festivals anybody's played for, because radio doesn't care about that. Okay. What radio wants to know is who wrote it, who produced it, who mastered it. What's the title? What's the release date? What's the label if there is one? Is, so you can put independent label. You don't have to have a label. But if you have distribution, that, like, say you don't have a label through Sub Pop, but maybe like Daniel Lyon from the band Spirit Award or the band Cumulus, Sub Pop is the distributor of your music. Those are things that you would put there. Those are important notes for radio stations. Another thing you'll see is track listing. And within that track list, I have also detailed, I've highlighted what our singles were, how long that music is. And then also, again, genre, what the band, what do you sound like, who do I compare you to? Who do I compare Charlie and the Rays to? So now I would say Forrest Ray, for fans of Charlie and the Rays, and on and on it goes. Katie Lang, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And then another very important thing to put in a Radio 1 sheet is if your songs are FCC safe. So for y'all's down under, I have zero idea right now. I should have probably looked into that. So oops, about what you call your own governing body of music, the uptight police for music. So for us, it's the FCC, and then you can list which songs are clean or dirty. And in the case of Dirty Dirty, it says all songs FCC safe except So Wild. And then I indicate 3 minutes and 52 seconds. That's where he says the swear word. That gives the station instantly the opportunity to play the song, to play it in its entirety, or to bloop it. So there you go.
That's great.
All right. I've been yapping a lot. Shoot me some questions.
Great. No, this is all such good information. Thanks for sharing these
Yeah.
documents too. That'll be so great for people to see. It's always good to see examples when I feel like with this kind of stuff too, because it's just good to see what other people are doing.
And copy them. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like, keep looking at link trees, keep looking at these things, look at
Yeah.
examples online and copy what you like.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the reasons why I actually was wondering about the EPK versus one sheet, because I know some people that are just doing one sheets, but might also be calling it an EPK, I guess. Yeah, it just kind of depends on like what information you're including in it.
Exactly. And that's what I
Yeah.
was saying is like the one for Dirty Dirty is like your classic old school one sheet, it's
Yeah.
just like make it Google. It's so simple. It's just really, but
Yeah.
it serves its purpose. And then like the Spider Ferns, the electronic press kit is a classic EPK in the sense
Mhm.
that there's all that stuff for there. But at the same token, everyone can get all that information off my link tree.
Yeah,
Right.
that's so great.
So it's really that diverse toolkit idea is keep building your brand, keep building your toolkit, and
Yeah.
you just kind of follow those adjacent, what's working will show itself.
Yeah, that's so great. Rebecca, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I was just going to mention to you, Kelly, that like it feels like you have the best kept secret, like you can like totally, the way you talk and the way you explain things and the way it's perfect for PR, the way you give these insider little golden nuggets. So I just feel like you're doing it in a way that pulls the listener in, like, ooh,
Oh, thank you.
I haven't heard that, we might have heard it in different ways, but you really bring awareness around that. And you have a really
Thank you.
great knack for doing that. So thank you for
Thank
that.
you. I appreciate that. And, honestly, I sat with that for quite a while during the pandemic and thought about how I could better serve musicians, because my job is elevating baby bands. So that's those of us that are starting to play festivals. We're touring a little bit more. We're kind of trying to break out of town a little bit. And also I'm part of the alphabet mafia. So LGBTQ, and then I work a lot with the QT BIPOC, world. And so how do I also find ways for folks who might not have as much access to resources? And Jordan mentions gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is something I loathe. I absolutely positively think it is completely unnecessary. We really should be sharing this information as much as possible. And I really feel that PR in the way I've done it is a lot of forced obsolescence. The more we can all do for ourselves, the better. So.
Right. You mentioned gatekeeping. So in our community of groups, like including Sam Knack, who's here with us right now, and our extended groups with 2 and D, and just we could go on and on and on. But they definitely are the sharers of information, and and not holding back brings more abundance to our group, because if we thrive together, if one of us thrives, we all thrive, and we're sharing, we're
Yes.
learning, we're teaching, we're experiencing, we're living vicariously through each other. So it's like the more the merrier.
Yeah, it's not a zero-sum game. And I think that that's the other thing too, is that I think it's important to remember the average age of a touring musician is 42 for a reason. So at 53, I'm pretty extraordinary, still doing the things that I do. I'll be 54 in March. No one can tell in the dark. That's still fun. So, ultimately, finding different ways, like you say, to be celebrating each other, that's intrinsically important. So I went from charging thousands of dollars for campaigns to charging $100 an hour for a 1-hour consultation, and then I give people 5 days of swooping into my DMs, my emails, like whatever they want to do, to ask me as many questions as possible. And I found that folks can't always do that at once, so I just keep track of their days. And I have found over time that I can give people thousands of dollars of information for hundreds of dollars, and I can help instead. And it's more sustainable for my heart. It's not as big of an income. I'm far happier though, right? And then everyone else has more money. You have more money to buy t-shirts for your damn band if you're not paying a publicist as much to get your, looking at Jordan here, like seriously.
And I
Yeah.
really do think in that golden rule, which is, I know that's like an old, a Bible kind of thing, but I feel like it works energetically. The more we give from ourselves and from our hearts, the more we'll get in other ways of other abundance, whether it's more love, more smiles, like you said, better for your heart, maybe even financial gain in another way, just the way energy works, putting it out there. And
Absolutely.
so
And this, yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna, and that, I wanted to also comment that what you're doing for people in the community and the music, groups, I mean, it's awesome, and that you've even made it affordable. So one day when, in the near future, when Pandion Music Foundation is able to start giving, grants or a little bit of money to individual, we'll have a like a group of people that will figure out who would qualify. But I would love to like honor and bring you in as one of the hosts for that, to offer.
I would be honored. I love that. It makes, you can see my big smile. It makes me so happy. I think that's the thing, is that I am giving people an opportunity to find their own joy. And that's because for me, I was at the point after 8.5 years of being a publicist, I became a publicist because I couldn't afford my own publicist. And I lucked into an incredible mentor who was running really large PR companies. Like, they were doing PR for Seahawks football team, for Starbucks, for Microsoft, for Bill Gates, like, for the musician Pink. Like, this was big stuff. And so I got to really learn, but ultimately I started to burn out. And then also, as a queer person, and I'm a non-binary individual, though you can use any pronouns with me you want. I'm pretty happy with everything. And so then I'm looking at the world in a really different way and yet I'm still, you can see my Polish face here. So, I doors still open for me in multiple ways. Nonetheless, I still found that I just had to be kicking doors open, and I was so exhausted by that. And how could I help everybody else? Just open a door. Y'all don't need to knock, just walk right in. And so that really also was my seat of power for sharing this. And I would say the Spider Ferns, we always say to each other, love makes love. And we're also queer poly folks, so of course we say that. And then, it's just true, like whatever works, right? So we bring that into everything that we do. We're always looking for new opportunities to be happy. And then my friend John, Blazing Space, that provides visuals for the Spider Ferns, has a beautiful saying I think we all should grab. They say, attack with love. And that is also what brought forth these changes for me. So anyway, yes, bring me in.
Oh, I love that, all that so
I'll
much.
be
So much.
happy to help. Is there any other
That would be.
questions I can help anyone with in the time we have?
Carls has a question. Come on, Carls.
Hello, hi Kelly. This is amazing. You've shared so much valuable information. I'm so excited about looking at all of this stuff. So I have a question. I have a really basic website, and I know you said don't worry too much about the websites, but I've spoken to other musicians and they've got more expensive web hosting, and I've just gone for like the Wix beginner, and I think you kind of answered this by sharing your link tree, but I mean, how important is it? For example, I know some people pay more so they can upload their music and have it like, tracks on their website. I mean, is that important? I mean, if you've got a Bandcamp and everything and you've got a link tree, does that sort of thing matter as much?
I mean, I wouldn't have websites if I didn't have to. And so again, Wix is great. If you can afford to pay so that you don't have to have the Wix logo on there, I think that's great.
I've done that. So I took the advertising off.
Yeah. And so like, if you can remove the advertising, you're great. I use Wix actually. I bought a Wix bundle. I have like 5 or 6 different websites for different things. I love buying URLs. It's ridiculous how many I own. And so you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that. Really pick the simplest platform. It's great to have all of it on there. Yes, you can, but like you're going to do just as well with a Spotify link, with a Spotify button. Or a lot of those Wix websites, you can put a new video up, or, you can make a promotional video for yourself that says a song is coming and stuff like this. So there's this sort of interactive moment, but ultimately I still think you should be driving people to your socials. And again, that link tree really, I just am thinking, I feel should really just sit in the bio of everybody's Instagram, because it's the tell all. So no, you don't have to do a ton. It's I think it's
kind of how you use it.
It's how you use it. Yeah, exactly. And I think if you have it's a place to really shine your branding more than anything. So the new, like, go look at Taylor Elizabeth. I think she's a great example. Very, very simple. She drives you right back to her socials again. And yeah, that's my best advisement. So
thank you very much.
Don't break the bank.
Yeah.
That's great. Anyone else have any questions? I guess we're pretty much at the end of the hour already. This was all so great to hear all this information, right, as usual. Ingrid's got a question. Let's pop you in really quick before we do anything else. Great.
Did I do it?
You did. Great.
You did it for me, you guys. Do that. Hi, Kelly, and my name is Ingrid. I live in North Alabama, and you are just so special. You are very, like, you're opened your mouth and I hear you say joy, and I get that. And I also feel like your approach to life is from compassion. And I come Wednesdays to this every single time. I feel rested and refreshed, and I look forward so much to it. So I'm so glad that you're here. And having heard you talk, my question is, I love to know what is something that that is next for you that maybe you haven't tried, or that you kind of wanted, but maybe, have you admitted to yourself something next and different, new for you that you would like in your life?
Ooh, as in, wow.
Great question.
Well, I kind of feel like for you that means like turning on a different corner of whatever street you're in. So I don't know. I don't know how to call it.
It's actually a really great
question. Such a great question.
It's actually very spiritualized. Yeah, no, I love this. And by the way, I went to preschool in Birmingham, Alabama. So I was raised, so I'm originally from Illinois, Chicago area, but my whole family are from the South, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, etc. So your accent is actually comforting to me. You're making me miss my auntie.
I grew up in Rochester, New York. I don't know if I'm not allowed to say that. The neighbors are close here, but I grew up in Rochester.
Don't tell them.
Yankees that brought their U-Haul down. I was like, tropical.
Well, yeah, don't tell. So, okay, yes. So the question that you just asked me is really deeply important. So visual art and music are deeply intertwined for me. So what I have been working on doing is really my stage presence involves my textiles. I'm a textile artist, is my main form of art. I've moved into also crystallizing my art. And so with borax crystals. And so I am working on combining more of my visual art and music together into like full happenings. Because I need music to become a world, not an industry. And I have created very much my own world. I'm my own version of WandaVision. I mean, you're in my art studio here. Yes, it's a mess. That's classic. Come on. So that is really my biggest thing, is how do I sit back? How do I tour more thoughtfully? How do I play more thoughtful shows? How do I intertie my consultation work with my visual art, with my music, in a way that really is about me and not necessarily serving others, but giving to others over serving, I think is probably, but you know, come on, I'm approaching menopause. So it's like, you know, I'm in that whole state of just like, get out of my way. But at the same token, wanting to, I need to pave the way for the sustainability artistically for myself for the rest of my life. And that also comes with a name change. So you see Kelly Ray Fleek. Well, Fleek is actually going to be a thing of the past. So friends, lovers, and family all call me Ray. So I invite you all to call me Ray. So that's the other thing I'm doing too, is my husband and I are actually both dropping our last name, making a full name change, coming back out into the world in a new way, kind of cleaning the slate for ourselves in some regards, or maybe not cleaning the slate, but stepping forward into some new realities. So thanks for asking.
I'm blown away. Oh, I'm 50 and I approve this message. And I think I have an ulterior, or may I say follow-up question, that it feels like educational entertainment is the hottest thing right now, or entertaining education. Don't you feel like you could take something from the film industry and pull it back into that exact design of that authentic thing that you're making, textiles and Ray, R-A-Y. Ray. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. And yes, I can. And so one of those things too is we make our own music videos. And actually, if I have a second to do this, I will drop in a music video that you can all watch later. And that will give an example of the spider ferns and costuming I've done. And so basically what I'm doing now, here, let's see if we can do this. This is so funny. I guess I should have thought of like shamelessly showing you all these things.
You're mighty prepared. You've been mighty prepared.
I was fairly prepared. And pardon me. Okay, so I'm going to drop a link for y'all for later. And you'll see a little hint of some of the things I create there. Now, fast forward into the fact that I make these large crystallized pieces, and I'm moving into making pieces I can wear on my body that I can incorporate into the films that we make, because I also work in my own version of filmmaking. So I'm in this do it all or go home kind of mood.
It's a good mood to be in.
It kind of might be my forever mood. I mean, you know,
I think it should be.
To know that I'm always doing something better out than in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. This has just been you're just the most giving, warm energy, and I just love you so much. So thank you for joining.
I miss you. You're so far away.
I know, I'm too far now.
Have to have a coffee chat soon. And yeah, anybody hit up if you want. And should anyone need a consultation of any kind, they can just find me at Kelly@Lowflux Media. Well, you can send it. You know how
I'll drop the link for everyone.
I don't need to do that.
I'll do that.
But I'm happy to help folks, and I do help folks all around the world. So the information works from continent to continent. So
thank you, Kelly, so much. I mean, so many gems that you've given us, and we will have this on replay, and we'll promote it as like a must watch. And you're just amazing. And thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you all. Thanks for being here. And thanks for the great questions. And just thank you for asking me. It was really exciting to be with them for you. I'm really proud of everything you're doing. So
thanks. Honored to have you on.
All righty.
Well, talk soon, everyone. Thanks for being here. See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.